Hello, Hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam, Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is Soulology, the science of the soul. And have you been in life and people tell you, oh, you're too much of this, you're too much of that, you wear too much makeup, you don't wear enough makeup, you're too weak, you're not strong enough, your face looks weird, and so on and so forth. They tell you all that. Let's talk about a few ways on how just to simply not care what other people think of you. Starting with number one, let's just be honest. Don't give a fuck what anybody says about you or says to you. It's not their business who you are. They're not the ones who have to work on who you are as a person. It's up to you. And on top of that, if they have something to say to you, it's most likely they feel within themselves that they too have something that they have to work on for themselves on who they truly are as a person. Even in my experience, when I was younger, I used to talk about people all the time, and what I had to realize was, what I state this all the time, what you see in others, you see in yourself. I would say, oh, they're a horrible person, this and that, and then I started to see that in myself. And at times I got depressed and sad about it, and when I actually started working on just loving myself first instead of what people think of me and what I say to others, it became a lot easier. Number two is just to simply focus on yourself. Why focus on yourself? Because truth is, you gotta mind your own business. Let me rephrase that again. You have to mind your own business. You have to be the one who structures everything in yourself, in the self of who you are as a person. And focusing, when you're more focused on yourself and working who you are instead of what people tell you you are, what you should be doing, that you should do it this way, you should do it that way and stuff. When you're more focused, it's kind of funny, you don't hear about drama anymore. It's almost as though it's not even there. And personally, in my experience, what I've noticed about people is when you focus more on yourself, you don't really pay attention to drama anymore. Nonetheless, drama seems to just disappear from you. There are times, of course, when things happen, but you have to realize if that's the case, things happen, whether it's out of your control or not, you have to just focus on yourself, on how would you act and how would you go about it. Because we don't really have a right to say anything about anyone on this planet, which leads on to number three. Don't judge anybody. Don't worry about judging anybody, because we don't know about that person's life, and they don't know about yours. Whether a person judges you or not, you don't have a right to judge them, because remember, what you see in others, you see in yourself. And when you're more likely to take the time to just work on yourself and see that person for who they are, because of we don't know them, and give them the love they deserve one way or another, sometimes that people start to act different. When you're becoming that example, instead of saying, oh, well, look at that person, look at how they eat, or look at that person, their hair and stuff, and you're more like, I don't know what got them there, but one way or another, even if you start a conversation, this is why I tell people all the time, even in the pink elephant in the ring conversation, when you're having a conversation with someone to really try to understand them, when you're actually understanding them, working to understand who they are as a person, it can slow things down to a different degree, and you might even have something in common with that person that you may not believe, even if you feel like you don't like that person or you're judging them because of this and that, stop judging. Don't worry about what other people say, and don't have anything to say about other people, because you don't know their life. It's one thing to be helpfully critiquing people because you care about them. But it's another thing when it's someone else you have no idea about. It could be a homeless man, it could be some person on the street, just the way they dress or anything. It could be anybody. You have no right, and neither do I. That's why I personally had to stop judging people, because I don't know their life. So I try to understand people around me. And as far as that goes, even if you meet somebody and you judge them due to the fact of you know them and everything, you gotta be willing to forgive and let go. But they did me dirty and this and that, and yes, I know personally, I have been there, I have felt that type of pain, and when you let go of it, of course people say, well, you're going to be the stronger one, and I've met people who are like, I don't want to be the stronger one, I want to be the smaller one. The question is it worth it to hold on to something like that? Because I've stated this before, that when you hold on to something like a grudge like that, it's like hot coal in your hands. Even if you throw it at someone, the only person it's going to hurt and burn is you. When you forgive that person and let go of it and move on to who you desire to be in your highest version, you let go of the strain. You get out of your own way. Because many people don't want to get out of their own way to allow something to grow and evolve in who they are as a person. Many people have a difficulty doing that because perhaps revenge, perhaps jealousy, perhaps rage from what's happening. Those are unnatural emotions to begin with, because who we are is love. Loving a person is more important, and even if you don't want to be around that person, forgiving them and letting go so you can personally move on and work on who you are as a person is more important than worrying about them as a person and what's up with them. Because there's going to be a time, just like me and you, where they have to go through what they're going through and keep going and learn how to love themselves more, because they'll notice their own actions. And it's none of your concern one way or another if they notice those actions or not, but for you to work on your own and growing who you are. And simply giving yourself that care of who you are as a person. And on top of that, this is why I talk about the 7-day vegan challenge, the 14-day vegan challenge, and the 30-day vegan challenge. Take good care of yourself, please. No, let me rephrase that. Take good care of yourself. There's no need for a please. The reason it's important to take good care of yourself is because, even in my experience, I was eating all sorts of junk food and all sorts of food that wasn't really benefiting my body at all. I was just eating it, and even though that was the case, even my body knew that it was hurting it. When you take care of yourself, your mental mind reacts in a more calm way. When you eat certain superfruits, they benefit your body in giving you more energy, such as like turmeric, ginger. Chia seeds are a perfect example of keeping the mind calm and helping build the body up and even helping you lose weight. Keeping your mind relaxed and at ease can benefit you more than worrying about what other people are doing and everything, because think of it kind of like Batman in a sense. If you allow yourself to get consumed by all this... Sorry, that was my phone. If you allow yourself to get consumed by all of this, this will be all that thrives you. You are what you eat. When you consume that type of energy, you have to realize on the same spectrum that you are, in a sense, consuming energy that is affecting you in a negative term. Animals you eat. The animals you eat get slaughtered, and they have to go through that pain, and that energy only gets replicated back into you. So you're eating that same energy, the poisons you're eating. And we've discussed this in one of my videos. Many of the foods you're eating aren't very beneficial to your body, so they do have an effect on your body in slowing it down and hurting it. And we're going to go in another video actually about that again. But on top of that, you need to be willing to take care of your body, eat well, drink well, rest well, take care of your body, doing exercise and everything else in between. But the last one, be peaceful. Peace is important. This is why I say peace to all. Because growing your peace from within, being your peace, is more important than anything, because no matter the situation, whether you agree or disagree, it is now in your mindset what you see from the situation, because you are being your peace. If it's not what your peace is, then it has nothing to do with you. But if it's more of who you are, then you'll agree with it. But you're being now your own peace, instead of what people say on the left is what you should do and on the right what you should do. Focus on who you truly are. And love yourself, because you are the gods, the goddesses, and creators within. So to everybody out there, have a good morning, have a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. Namaste.